Sometimes the big sneaker companies get it absolutely perfectly right, and sometimes they get it stinkingly wrong. And today we're going to talk about those stinkingly wrong sneakers. I have a personal choice of the 5 worst sneakers coming up for the winter season 2019. It might be different from yours at home. It might be the same from yours at home. There might be some sneakers on this list that you have never seen and didn't know were coming out, and you're just going to look at them and be like, what the... Because some of them are frankly ridiculous sneakers that just should never have gotten off the design board. And today that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys, is to go through my top 5, I guess it's my bottom 5 worst sneakers of the winter season 2019. This is a Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channel, Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channel des, mainichi upto no de, mainichi mite kudasai. And every single day I bring you content from Tokyo, Japan about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and information about the butter movement. Now first, bang, there's the playlist about the butter movement. That includes a $1 million sneaker collection. It's an incredible sneaker collection. There's a whole apartment dedicated just to the sneakers. It's quite an incredible thing to look at, and if you don't know about the butter movement, don't know what's going on with that, check out that collection there, check out that sneaker playlist there, because it's got some incredible stuff in there, and I definitely recommend you see that as well. 2, bang, there's another link right there. It's to the video about the game that we're playing. We're doing a weekly game at Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel where I drop little hints about the shoe that's going to come on Sunday from that shoe, Parkman, one of the rarest shoes in the world. What I'm going to say is that I gave you a hint in yesterday's video. If you haven't already checked out that and got that hint to get your 5 points if you worked it out from yesterday's hint, today's hint is less than 100 pairs. So yesterday we had the hint about what the video is going to be. Today it's less than 100 pairs is the hint. There'll be more hints tomorrow and Friday and Saturday as well before we actually bring you that shoe on Sunday. But enough about that. We want to keep sneakers front and center here at Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, and that means talking about these 5 awful sneakers that are coming across the winter season 2019. I'll be bringing you those guys ever so quickly, but first, this is a YouTube channel, and YouTube channels need subscribers, so you need to hit the subscribe button down below. If you've already done that, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. And also, please do hit the like button down below. I've noticed that I'm not getting so many likes as I did before because people are maybe forgetting them because I'm not asking. So please do hit that like button down below. And as I am here in Tokyo, Japan, I do say at the start of every single one of my videos, Toroku yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Mada toroku shite nai kata ni zehi toroku onegaishimasu. Ato ine o click suru to tasukaru node, ine o osu to onegaishimasu. Okay, enough about that. Now let's get into these sneakers. 5, the worst sneakers that are coming out, and it came to me last night. I wasn't planning to do this at all, and I'll put the screenshot behind me here, but it came to me last night when I was looking through the Sneakers News app, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with at home, and I came, you're scrolling and there's only so many sneakers you can see in one page as you're scrolling through, like there's sneakers upon sneakers upon sneakers on the Sneaker News app, and there were 4 sneakers that are behind me right now. I can't remember which ones they are, and I was just like, man alive, what on earth, how did any of those sneakers get off the drawing board and be and go from somebody's idea to actual factory production? This ridiculous. And then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna find the worst 5 sneakers that are coming up over the next few months in winter 2019, and do a video for you guys out there. Now, if you disagree with me, I'd love that. I love it when people disagree with me and hit me up with a comment down below. It's one of my favorite things about having a sneaker channel, is people disagreeing with me and doing it in such a way that we have a dialogue. I so far, touch wood, maybe I shouldn't say this, but so far I haven't had a troll yet. I mean, I've had a couple of people hit me up with negative comments, which is fine. But they do it in such a way that's respectful, and they're just saying, I disagree with what you're saying, or I don't like the way you do your channel, or why don't you have sneakers in hand, for example. It's a dream of mine is to have sneakers in hand, but I don't have sneakers in hand, but then it becomes a dialogue, and it's not just somebody being a troll, and I appreciate that. So if you have a disagreement with me and you don't agree with what I say, definitely hit me up with a comment down below, and I'll shoot you back with a comment too. But if you actually agree with me as well, I'd appreciate hearing that. So without further ado, let's look at my 5 worst sneakers for the winter 2019 season. And some of them are absolute stinkers. I've got all 5 worked out, but I haven't actually ranked them. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with at 5th bottom. So this is going from 5th bottom, 4th bottom, 3rd bottom, 2nd bottom, absolute bottom. So 5th bottom for me is the Air Max 95 Christmas wrapping sneaker. Look at this. Like, it's a grade school sneaker, which is its only saving grace. Actually, there are 2 saving graces, which mean it's not further down the list. One of them is grade school sneaker, so I'm assuming it's only for kids. Although I did see written somewhere it was for big kids and little kids alike. So I'm hoping they're not going to do a full-size run in these things, because it's just a ridiculous concept of a sneaker. The other saving grace is the midsole and outsole is the Air Max 93, which is an iconic sneaker for me. It was the first sneaker I ever got into as a kid, and it was my first sneaker, my first love in terms of sneakers. So having the Air Max 93 midsole and outsole on an Air Max 95 upper for me is kind of cool. But looking at that upper, it's like, what are you doing? And a Christmas wrapping inspired sneaker? Are you insane? The low point, the absolute low point on me here, and I don't know how clear it will be behind me. I'll do my best to zoom in without pixelating it. But the absolute low point for me is the ice skates with the swoosh blade. It's like, oh my God, cringe city. That's absolutely awful. So that's I don't like the concept, the Christmas wrapping paper inspired sneaker, and then I don't like the actual design. I mean, the color's okay, right? Red, white, and blue. You know, that's pretty universally accepted, the nice color. But just that whole concept, and then those Nike swoosh blades on the ice skates. No. So if that's at number 5. You can imagine how stinking the other 4 sneakers are going to be. So I already know what's going to be number 1. So 2, 3, and 4. I have to work out the order in which I'm going to give you these guys. Gosh. Okay, I'm going to go at number 4, my 4th worst sneaker for winter 2019 season. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the Travis Scott Air Force Ones in at number 4. I'm sure a bunch of you out there are howling right now, like, what are you talking about? Are you insane? They're fire. They're not. They're hideous. They're awful. I mean, there's been a run of a bunch of Air Force Ones in mixed up colorways. There were the 2, the What the New Yorks and the What the LAs, which weren't that bad, to be honest. I didn't mind them too much. But there's been a bunch of sneakers coming from the Nike line with a lot of different panels on them. These Air Force Ones, are pretty awful. And then that hideous lace cover on them. Oh my goodness. I looked at these multiple times and thought, right, I should really do a video for the channel about these Travis Scott Air Force Ones. The Jordan ones, the first, I think they were the first Travis Scott tie-up. The Jordan ones were absolutely fire, with the little Cactus Jack face on the back. It was a beautiful sneaker. Was it an upside down swoosh or a back to front swoosh? I can't remember which. But they are absolutely fire. Then the 6s, which I was a bit iffy on, and then as I looked at them closer, I was just like in love with. They're an awesome sneaker, a beautiful sneaker, absolutely beautiful. But these Air Force One Travis Scotts are hideous. They're hideous. I don't care what anybody else says. Hit me up with a comment down below if you totally disagree with me, because I'm sure the hype beasts are going to be queuing around the block for them. They're really ugly, and then that stupid, ugly, hideous, stinking lace cover that with fasteners on it. Oh my God, it's an awful looking shoe. And that's at number 4 for me. And you can tell I really don't like the shoe. I'm not like, this isn't clickbait, I really don't like the shoe. So at number 4 on my list of worst sneakers for winter 2019 comes the Travis Scott Air Force Ones, and it's especially notable since the Jordan ones and the 6s were so cool that to me it's been an absolute tanking. So okay, 2 more sneakers. I know what number 1 is. Like I said, I've got to work out where I'm going to go with 2 and 3. And this is really unfair to the Adidas line because I'm going to have two Adidas sneakers at 1 and 2. So at 5 you had a Nike Air Max 95, at 4 you had Nike Air Force 1, and at 3 another Nike, but then the others are Adidas. And I don't know if people out there are going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about again, but this right here is a Jordan 4, a tiger striped Jordan 4, and it says a retro, I think, which means it's dropped sometime before. I obviously didn't realize it had dropped because I'd never seen it before. And the thing about it is, I think it's an awful sneaker already. I just hate the look of it, but it wouldn't normally make this top or bottom 5 list of mine on its own. But the reason it makes the bottom 5 list for me is because I really, really am disappointed with what the Jordan line did with the 30th anniversary of the 4s. It's like, just drop a standard colorway already. Like, really, just drop a standard colorway already. The only shoe, the Bread 4s, of course, let's just put that aside because that's a classic, iconic shoe. But the only shoe across this 12 months of the 30th anniversary of the 4s that I've liked was the Cool Greys. The rest have been awful. And it's just drop a regular colorway already. Trying to innovate and trying to be too, I don't know, trying to do too much with it. And so that's why at number 3 on my worst sneakers of winter 2019, I'm putting this Jordan 4. Not because of it itself, which I think is an awful sneaker already, but with that whole miss, it's just the L that has been the 30th anniversary of the Jordan 4s. This sneaker just epitomizes it altogether, and that's why it comes in at number 3. Now, number 2 on my list is a Yeezy, which is surprising, of course, because Yeezys are just hyped all over the place. I would be super surprised if somebody hits me up with a comment down below that says, dude, really, that's number 2? Are you sure? Usually Yeezys have hype. I'm not a huge fan of 700s and 500s, but I review them for the channel and I try and find what I like about them. Love the 350s. Not really liking the direction they're going with the 350s, with the colors, and also the 350, 380 thing. Is it 350? Is it 380? Now they're back calling it 350. They originally called it 350 V3, then a 380. Back to 350 V3 now. But anyway, none of those would make my bottom 5. But what does make my bottom 5 is the Yeezy clog. It's like, really? I was already off this sneaker. It probably would have come in at like number 5 on my list. But it's gone up to number 2 because now they're saying that it's made from algae from the oceans. That they've managed to take algae from the oceans and make that into a plastic or a rubber of some kind. It's like, what? Like, what? That's like, what? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make it. It's an ugly shoe right off the bat. Like I said, it would have made my bottom 5 here, even if it wasn't for the algae line. But the algae thing is like, what you're saying is it's made from the ocean, so that's good. But what it's made from is something living in the ocean. You're harvesting a living thing from the ocean. It's a plant, but it's still a living thing that animals rely on to keep the food chain going. I mean, I'm super behind the Adidas Parlay line. Love it. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite things to come out of the sneaker world, taking plastic bottles out of the ocean and plastic trash out of the ocean to make sneakers. Yes, I'm all over that. Brilliant. But actually taking algae from the ocean to make sneakers, that doesn't make any sense. And it's a pig ugly sneaker. So the two things together are just ridiculous to me. So easy number 2 on my list of ugly, unnecessary, useless, stinking sneakers coming up in the winter 2019 season is the Yeezy clog. Doesn't make any sense to me. Absolutely stinking sneaker. Easy in at number 2. And the reason it's easy in at number 2 is because number 1, which started all this was a sneaker that I looked at and I was like, what are you doing? And I wrote in my notes when I was researching this sneaker, are Adidas actively trying to destroy this silhouette? Are they trying to destroy one of their signature sneakers on their line? Now, I'll tell you, before I show you, I'll tell you that it's an Ultra Boost 19. Now, the Ultra Boost 19s, I don't mind. I don't like the cage like anybody else who has eyes and vision doesn't like the cage. That translucent cage on the side isn't nice. And that's the only thing I've ever asked Adidas to change. Love the Prime Knit. I quite like the heel counter, the heel cage, or whatever you want to call that, heel cup thing at the back. I quite like it. The full length Boost, of course, very comfortable. So everything about it except the cage. And what I said in a recent video, I think it was the David Beckham 99, the DB 99 video, or the Woodwood video from last week, was just do an uncaged version and we'll be fine. So that was my my one wish for these sneakers, was that they would just take that cage off of there. But they did that. They took the cage off, but then they put on a really, really ugly, is it the Micro Racer? I can't remember, Micro Pacer, that's what it's called. You must be able to see it behind me now. The Micro Pacer, it was like, I'm speechless. It's so ugly. Speechless. I remember was it last year or earlier this year, Adidas went through this phase of retroing old sneakers but putting them, like hybriding them on, so like a Boost sneaker with like a Samba upper, for example, or something like that, and they brought back the Micro Pacer with its like little clock that clocked how far you'd run or how many footsteps you'd taken or something like that, and it actually did have the clock like in the tongue, and it was ugly. But this is even worse. This is just hideous. This is the ugliest sneaker I've ever seen. And again, I don't know how it got off the design board. I don't know how somebody looked at this, like they drew up a picture of it. Maybe in their mind they're like, oh, maybe that'll work. Draw it up. It's like, oh no, that didn't work. And no, they drew it up and they're like, yeah, that does work. No, it doesn't. It's absolutely stinking. This is the ugliest shoe that I have seen in a long time. In fact, I think if I remember rightly, Yeezys used to be Reebok or used to be Adidas and then Nike and then back to Adidas again. There's an early Yeezy that's an awful, awful looking shoe, and this reminds me of that. It's just terrible. It's a terrible shoe. I don't know what Adidas were thinking. The Ultra Boost 19 line has not been well received. Later this week, I'll be bringing you the Ultra Boost 20, so the 2020, next year's update to the line. We'll be talking about the new steps that they've taken. But I'm wondering if they're trying to kill the Ultra Boost 19. It was a mistake. They didn't like it. They're like, I shouldn't have done that. Let's find a really ugly way to destroy the silhouette so that nobody will ever try to hoard this, or we as a brand will never try to bring out another shoe, because everybody will remember, oh God, those Adidas Ultra Boost 19 Micro Pacers, they're hideous. Never want to buy that shoe again. But this is just awful. I don't know, maybe it's a concept, maybe it's a one-off, somebody requested it or something, but whatever it is, it's number one, the worst shoe coming out in the winter 2019 season. Now, if you agree with me, thank you. I appreciate it. If you disagree with me, thank you again. I still appreciate that too. But do hit me up with a comment down below. Let me know your top 5 or bottom 5 sneakers coming up over the next few months in winter 2019. Were there some on the list that you had seen before and you were like, yeah, they're stinking, absolute big pass, no for me? Or were there some on the list that you were like, oh God, I've never seen that before, that is actually a horrible sneaker? Or were there some on the list where you're like, actually, you know what, I just bought those for my son's Christmas, so I kind of like them, or something along those lines? So if you can, hit me up with a comment down below. Definitely hit that like button to help get the channel and get the video sort of out there and recognized. And thank you very much for watching. A funny little video. Hadn't planned to do it this way. Glad that I could do it this way, because I really am sort of passionate about how ugly these sneakers are, because they are really, really ugly. And I did do, what was the best 5 I did? I did a best 5 something. It was the best 5 Yeezys, top 5 Yeezys coming out over the winter 2019 season. I did that last week, but like I said, just flicking through sneaker news yesterday, and I came across this one. I'll put it back up here. This one page, and I was just like, that's hell no. They're just awful looking sneakers, and so maybe a little bit of fun, but also a little bit of seriousness. Really disappointed that the Adidas Ultra Boost 19 haven't come out with an uncaged version. I really hope they get round to doing that, because that would be a fire sneaker if you ask me. So, but anyway, that's today's video. Thank you guys for checking it out. I think I've already done buttermovement things at the start. I dropped that clue number 2 for this week, which was less than 100 made, or less than 100 pairs of this sneaker that's coming up on Sunday that dropped. So you've got yesterday's clue and today's clue. Tomorrow we'll add another clue to that and see if you guys can work out which sneaker it is that Shoe Butter is going to bring us on Sunday. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. And because I do this every single day, I get to say at the end of my videos that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.